What's up, football fans? Let me hit you with some shocking news straight from Super Bowl week. Myles Garrett, the Cleveland Browns franchise cornerstone, has officially requested a trade. Yep, the guy who's been the face of their defense since 2017 is looking to get out of Cleveland. And the reason? It's all about winning a Super Bowl. Myles is done waiting around. And let's be real, after 8 seasons of solid play in Cleveland, we can't blame him. But here's the kicker. This is all tied to one of the most disastrous trades in NFL history. Deshaun Watson. Anyone? Buckle up. We're about to break down the saga that led Garrett to demand a way out and explore where he could go next. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you're in the loop with all the NFL drama and trades. Let's dive in. The fallout of the Deshaun Watson trade, the root of Garrett's frustration. Okay, let's take it back a little bit. It all starts with the trade. The Cleveland Browns, in a move that still has fans scratching their heads, sent 6 draft picks, including 3 first-rounders, to the Houston Texans for quarterback Deshaun Watson in 2022. Let's not forget, this was after Watson had been involved in a major off-field scandal, multiple allegations of sexual harassment and assault against several massage therapists. But the Browns didn't just trade for Watson. They went all in. They signed him to a fully guaranteed 5-year, $230 million contract. At the time, the Browns thought they were getting the star quarterback who could lift them to championship contention. But, well, that's not exactly what happened. Watson struggled to find his form on the field, has dealt with injuries, and his personal issues haven't helped the situation either. The Browns went 3-14 last season. Let that sink in. A 3-win season after all that investment. Enter Myles Garrett. He's been on fire. He might even win a second straight Defensive Player of the Year with a stat line of 14 sacks, 22 tackles for loss, and 3 forced fumbles. Garrett has been a beast. Yet his team flounders year after year. And you can't blame him for being fed up. After 8 years of putting up incredible individual performances, Garrett has seen enough of a team that can't seem to get it together. And let's be real, his frustration isn't just from this season, it goes way back. The Deshaun Watson trade is the heart of the problem. The Browns made a desperate move, but it hasn't worked out. It's left Garrett stuck in a losing situation. And now he's saying, enough is enough. Garrett's bold statement, wanting to compete for a Super Bowl. Garrett's trade request was clear and emotional. On Instagram, he said, "While I've loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. I don't know about you, but I can't help but feel for the guy. He's been a model player, giving his all every season. But he's tired of watching other teams hoist the Lombardi Trophy while Cleveland can't even make the playoffs consistently. And let's face it, with the Browns not even being close to a contender for a Super Bowl, Garrett has every right to seek greener pastures. His ultimate goal isn't just to be a Hall of Famer, he wants that ring. And Cleveland isn't getting him there. What does Myles Garrett's trade request mean for Cleveland? So what does this mean for the Browns? Well, let's just say the situation looks bleak. Garrett has been the best player on the team for years. And now that he's looking for a way out, it puts a giant target on Cleveland's future. The Deshaun Watson trade continues to haunt the Browns. It's a trade that has depleted their draft capital. All for a quarterback who, at best, has been average at best. Garrett's frustration isn't just with the lack of success, it's with how the entire organization has fumbled their opportunities. The Browns were supposed to be on the rise with Watson leading the charge. But it hasn't worked out. Instead, they're left with a roster that's undoubtedly talented but completely misaligned, and now their biggest star wants out. Where could Myles Garrett land next? So let's talk about what happens next. If Garrett gets his way and is traded, where could he go? The possibilities are endless. Honestly, let's look at a few teams who could definitely make room for a game-changing pass rusher like Garrett. Detroit Lions. The Lions have been on the rise in recent years. And pairing Garrett with Aiden Hutchinson would create a dominant defensive line. Detroit's Super Bowl window is wide open. And adding Garrett would instantly put them in a better position to challenge for a title. Philadelphia Eagles. Imagine Garrett on the same defensive line as Fletcher Cox. Hassan Reddick, and Javon Hargrave. That would be an elite pass rush unit. And we all know how close the Eagles are to contending for the Super Bowl again. Philly has to be on Garrett's radar. Cincinnati Bengals. With Joe Burrow leading the offense, Garrett could help bring the defense up to elite status. The Bengals have everything in place on offense, and Garrett would be the missing piece on defense. Washington Commanders. Washington has a young, hungry team, and with Garrett on board, their defense could be absolutely disruptive. A young QB, a strong defense with Garrett leading the charge, it's a good fit. Cleveland Browns. Maybe, let's be real? Though, anything's possible. If the Browns could miraculously convince Garrett that they've got a real Super Bowl caliber team in the works, maybe, just maybe, they can find a way to keep him. But that would take some serious changes. Myles Garrett's trade request is the culmination of years of frustration with an organization that simply hasn't been able to get it together. The Deshaun Watson trade is what set this all in motion, a gamble that set Cleveland back in ways they didn't anticipate. Garrett deserves to compete for a Super Bowl, and if the Browns can't give him that, it's no surprise he wants out. The question now is, where will he land? Let me know in the comments where you think Garrett should go. And if you think the Browns will actually listen to his trade request. Don't forget to like this video if you're loving the drama, and subscribe to stay updated on all the latest NFL news. This offseason is about to get wild, and we've got you covered. Thanks for watching. Folks, stay tuned, because whether Garrett stays or goes, this will definitely be one of the biggest stories of the offseason. We'll be back soon with more updates and breakdowns on all the NFL drama. See you next time. What's up, NFL fans? Here's the big story of the week. No, it's not about the Super Bowl. It's about someone who's not even in it. Yeah, you guessed it, Myles Garrett. The Cleveland Browns all-pro pass rusher has dropped the bombshell that he's requesting a trade. What? A player of Garrett's caliber wanting out of Cleveland? That's huge news. But why is this happening? Garrett wants to compete for and win a Super Bowl, and as much as we all love Cleveland, it's hard to blame him when the Browns haven't exactly been a perennial contender in recent years. So, where could Garrett land if he does get traded? I'm here to break down the top 5 fun fits for Myles Garrett, teams where he could truly chase that elusive Super Bowl ring. And trust me, some of these teams are wild fits. So, grab your popcorn, because this is going to be one heck of a ride. Oh, and if you're all about NFL drama, Super Bowl aspirations, and pass rushers, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on the action. Detroit Lions. A match made in pressure heaven. Alright, first up, the Detroit Lions. I know, the Lions haven't exactly been a powerhouse in recent decades. But don't sleep on them, my friends. This team is absolutely in a Super Bowl window right now. The Lions are coming off a 15-win season, and they're hungry for more. Imagine Myles Garrett lining up opposite Aidan Hutchinson, a rising star who already wreaks havoc on opposing quarterbacks. That's one of the most terrifying edge duos in the league. Think about it. The Lions have one of the best defenses in the league. But their defense could use a little extra bite. Garrett would fill that gap perfectly. He'd give Detroit that game-changing pass rusher they've been missing. And suddenly, the Lions would go from a team that's fun to watch to a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Plus, after trading for Zadarius Smith earlier this year, Detroit is clearly all in. Garrett could step in and help them finally break through in the NFC. Dallas Cowboys. Pairing Garrett with Micah Parsons? Oh, my gosh. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, I know, Dallas is always in the mix for every big name. But hear me out. New defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus has a style that plays perfectly into Garrett's strengths: high variance, explosive plays, and an emphasis on creating turnovers. Garrett already plays at 100 miles an hour on every snap. And this style would let him thrive even more. And who else does Dallas have on defense? Micah Parsons. Baby, imagine those two monsters on the same defensive line. Quarterbacks won't know what hit them. But, let's be real, there's the money issue. The Cowboys are over the cap right now. And Garrett is making some serious cash. It might be tricky, but if Jerry Jones is truly all in on winning, he could find a way to make this happen. Pairing Garrett with Parsons would make Dallas' defense absolutely lethal. They go from a team with a good defense to one that can dominate on every level. Buffalo Bills. Letting Garrett bring the heat to Josh Allen's Super Bowl push. Moving on, the Buffalo Bills. Oh, the Bills. They've been knocking on the door of the Super Bowl for years now, but just can't seem to break through. And that's where Garrett comes in. The Bills' defense has been solid, but they need that extra piece, a pass rusher who can single-handedly change the game and flip the momentum. Garrett could be that guy. Buffalo has the offense with Josh Allen, who is capable of putting up insane points, but they've been lacking that consistent pass rush to help their defense get off the field quickly. Garrett would give them exactly that. He'd instantly make the Bills' defense dangerous and give them the boost they need to make it to the Super Bowl. Plus, if they could somehow get Garrett while also retaining their core defensive players, they'd be set for years. Washington Commanders. A team on the rise needs a pass-rushing king. Here's a fun one, the Washington Commanders. Okay, I can hear the groans already. But stay with me here. The Commanders might not be on the Super Bowl radar just yet, but they have a solid foundation. They've got a good young quarterback in Sam Howell, yes. He's shown potential, and with the right pieces, this team could be on the rise. What the Commanders really need right now is a game-changing pass rusher. And what better way to kickstart their journey to contention than with someone like Garrett? Defensive coordinator Dan Quinn runs a system that's all about flexibility, and Garrett's versatility would thrive in that. He'd be able to rush from multiple spots, putting pressure on quarterbacks all over the field. Washington's defense already has some strong pieces, and Garrett would make them a force to be reckoned with in the NFC. Imagine Garrett leading that defense into the future, setting the tone for the next few years. It would be a fun fit for sure. Philadelphia Eagles, already a Super Bowl favorite, but Garrett would make them insane. And last but certainly not least, the Philadelphia Eagles. You're probably thinking, wait, don't they already have a stacked defense? Yes, they do. But imagine adding Myles Garrett to an already elite pass rush that includes Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. That's not just a great defensive line. That's a nightmare for any quarterback. The Eagles are already Super Bowl favorites. But if they land Garrett, they'd be unstoppable. The rich get richer, my friends. Garrett could come in and elevate Philly's already top-tier defense, making them virtually impossible to block. And let's be real, if the Eagles get this guy, it's over. The NFC would be shaking in their boots. The Eagles would own the league for the foreseeable future. Conclusion. So, there you have it. 5 absolutely wild and fun fits for Myles Garrett if he does get traded. But the real question is, where will he end up? The Lions, the Cowboys, the Bills, the Commanders, or the Eagles? Each one has a unique appeal. But no matter where Garrett lands, one thing is for sure. This guy is gonna be chasing a Super Bowl ring, and soon. Let me know in the comments where you think Garrett should go. Do you agree with my picks? Or do you have a wild destination of your own in mind? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more NFL drama, trade rumors, and Super Bowl talk. Until next time, keep it real, keep it fun, and remember, it's just football, but man, it's entertaining. Thanks for watching, folks. Make sure you don't miss out on the next big NFL story. Because trust me, there's always something crazy going down in this league. Catch you next time, where we'll break down more trades, rumors, and all the juicy NFL drama. See you soon.